Welcome back to Pelangi 21. Today I will show you a 2022 Philippine drama film titled Sisid. Jason is a marine biologist who has been married to Abby for 7 years. For their 7th anniversary, Abby gives him a camera that Jason really wanted, while Jason gives Abby a necklace. Jason has been assigned to lead the rehabilitation and preservation of the fish sanctuary at Pola Mindoro. Abby is packing things when she feels nauseous. Jason immediately comes to help her. It turns out that Abby has a serious illness. Jason decides to cancel their trip because of Abby. But Abby insists on leaving, and says she will be fine. On the ship, Abby gets sick again. Jason helps look after Abby and gives her medicine. He says to Abby to try chemotherapy again. But Abby refuses, and says that the past 2 years without chemotherapy and living with Jason were the happiest things for her. Abby assures him everything will be fine. Meanwhile in Pola Mindoro, a local young man named Dennis loves and cares for the sea. He forbids and reminds people not to throw trash in the sea. He also helps take care of an iguana that was hurt by people. Jason and Abby run into Dennis on the street. Jason asks about what happened to the iguana. Dennis tells him that he is trying to help the iguana. Jason and Abby arrive at the organic farm owned by Blessy, Abby's friend, where they will stay for a while. Blessy immediately greets them, and enthusiastically shows her organic farm. Abby notices Jason and Blessy and she smiles looking at them. Blessy invites them to go to her house which is on the beach. Blessy asks about Jason's project for the rehabilitation and preservation of the fish sanctuary. Jason says that he still doesn't know because he hasn't met the mayor. Later, Jason goes to town hall to meet the mayor. However, there is a meeting between the residents and the mining company. The residents are angry because the mining has damaged the surrounding environment, and made some of them lose their family members. The mining company is willing to pay compensation for the damage, but the residents also want a solution, because so far they have depended on the sea for their livelihood. Jason intervenes, and says that the mining company should not continue to operate there, and the compensation money will not be able to replace the environmental damage that has occurred. Everyone applaud Jason's opinion. The mayor introduces Jason as an active defender of the fish sanctuary to everyone present. After that, the mayor meets Jason in her office. She assigns several people to assist Jason in handling the rehabilitation and preservation of the fish sanctuary there. One of the members is Dennis. Dennis tells Jason that he will help him as best he can. Later, they go to sea to start their project. They take the necessary photos and data. In the middle of the dive, Jason is running out of oxygen, and Dennis, who is next to him, immediately helps him. Jason then realizes that Abby's camera is missing. Dennis immediately helps to find his camera. At the beach, Jason thanks Dennis for saving him and finding his camera. Dennis says that he's always there to help him. As Jason is about to take off his diving suit, his arm cramps. Dennis helps Jason to massage his arm. Meanwhile, Abby and Blessy talk about their family. Blessy says that her mother is in America but she is happy living here. Blessy is happy with a simple life. Abby says that Blessy is similar to Jason who likes simple things. Blessy replies that Abby is lucky to have Jason. That night Jason, Abby, and Blessy spend time together by a bonfire. Abby tells Jason to sing the first song he sang to her. Jason sings the song and sits next to Blessy. Abby says that they look great together. The next day, Dennis asks Tanya to swim with him, and they make love on the beach. Tanya's brother asks where they are from, and Tanya lies that they went to market. Later, Jason and his team dive to find the data they need. After that, Jason asks Dennis to be his model. Dennis refuses because he's not good at posing. But Jason insists on asking Dennis to be his model, and Dennis finally agrees. Jason and Dennis put the diving gear in Jason's car, and they meet Dennis's mother. She asks Jason to stop by her house. Dennis's mother introduces Jason to Dennis's younger siblings who are still in school. She tells him about her husband and Dennis, who had to work since her husband died and couldn't go to college. She invites Jason to eat with them, but Jason refuses with reason that his wife is waiting for him. Jason finds Abby and Blessy, who has been waiting for him. Blessy makes Abby an organic tea, and Abby wants Jason to try it. Meanwhile, Tanya tells Dennis that she is pregnant, and she is afraid to tell her family. Dennis calms Tanya down, and says that he is willing to take responsibility. Jason, who is taking a shower, touches himself while imagining Dennis. After that, he looks at the pictures of Dennis he had taken on his laptop. Abby comes in and asks about the young man on Jason's laptop. Jason replies that the young man is Dennis, an assistant the mayor had assigned to help him. Abby asks Jason to take a rest because Jason seems too busy with his work. Jason turns down Abby's offer, on the grounds that he has a lot of work to do. Abby keeps trying to persuade him, so Jason does what Abby asks. As they lay down, Abby asks Jason to make love. They do it, but Jason imagines Abby as Dennis. But then Jason decides to stop, after he finds that her hair falling out. The next day, Jason and Dennis continue to dive as usual. Their relationship becomes closer. They have kept sexual desire for each other all this time. Finally they make love in the middle of the sea. Later, Abby meets with Blessy. Abby says that she admires her, then asks if Blessy isn't lonely. Blessy replies she doesn't want to depend on anyone else, and she feels happy being alone. Abby asks her to take care of Jason when she dies. Jason comes home and finds Abby and Blessy. Abby tells Jason that Blessy has agreed to look after him in case she dies. But Jason becomes angry, because Jason feels that Abby treats him like a kid. He doesn't want to talk about who will replace her when she dies. Meanwhile, Tanya finally tells her family that she is pregnant. Tanya's family goes to Dennis's mother, and tells her about what happened. Dennis's mother feels disappointed with him. Dennis apologizes and asks his mother for advice. She says that Dennis had made a mistake, and must be responsible for it. After their argument, Abby goes to their room, and checks Jason's laptop. She finds many pictures of Dennis on Jason's laptop. She feels strange about Jason, but she doesn't say anything when Jason is there. Jason tries to apologize to her, but Abby doesn't respond to his apology. Jason goes outside to get some fresh air. At that time, Dennis comes to see Jason. He says that he has something to talk about. They go to the beach to talk. Dennis opens up that he got his girlfriend pregnant, but he is still not ready to be a father. He says there are many things he wants to do, and he still wants to help his family. He tries to ask Jason for advice. Jason replies that he always admired Dennis, because Dennis always put his family before his dreams. Sometimes in life, he will face tough obstacles, but Dennis will realize why he has to go through them. Dennis is grateful for Jason's advice, and he says that Jason is a good man. Jason tries to calm Dennis, who is crying. Then they look at each other, and make love on the beach. Abby wakes up and goes to find Jason, but she can't find him in the house. As Abby walks out, she sees Jason and Dennis making love on the beach. Abby is disappointed in Jason and runs inside. Jason chases after Abby, while Dennis leaves. Abby is angry with Jason because Jason had been lying to her all this time. Jason is speechless and can only apologize. Suddenly Abby faints, and Jason takes Abby to the nearest health center. The doctor checks Abby's condition, and Abby has to stay there for a while. The next day, Abby is still angry with Jason. Abby asks him how long have Jason and Dennis been together, and the reason why Jason didn't tell her. Jason apologizes, and says that he lied because he doesn't want to lose her. Abby says that Jason should have been honest with her. Meanwhile, Dennis goes to look for Jason, but he is told that Abby had been treated at the health center. Dennis goes to the health center to see Jason, but he finds Abby alone there. He apologizes to her. Abby asks if Dennis is taking advantage of her husband. But Dennis replies that they are both aware of their actions. Dennis seems want to tell Abby that they love each other. As Dennis is about to leave, Abby stops him. She gives him the necklace that Jason had given her, while telling him to look after Jason for her. Meanwhile, Jason is packing up to get ready to go home. He's still unsure about his feelings for Dennis, but he prioritizes Abby's situation. He goes to the health center to pick up Abby, while Dennis goes to look for Jason. When Dennis returns to the health center, he finds that Jason and Abby have left. Jason and Dennis are both sad because they don't have time to say goodbye to each other, and they know that they can't be together. Some time later Abby dies. Jason and Blessy are both sad to lose Abby. Meanwhile, Dennis marries Tanya, and Dennis's mother signs an agreement for compensation for her husband's death, because she needs the money. A few months later, Jason returns to Pola Mindoro. The mayor has declared Pola Mindoro a marine conservation area, and thanks the residents, the Coast Guard and Jason. Dennis and Tanya also come to the event, and now they have a baby. Later, Jason meets with Dennis, and asks how he is doing. Dennis says that he continues to work as a diver. Dennis introduces Jason to Tanya and his daughter named Abby. Jason notices that Dennis's daughter is wearing Abby's necklace. Tanya leaves the two of them to chat. Dennis asks if Jason has a job at Pola Mindoro. Jason replies that he has been assigned to Taiwan. Dennis asks when Jason will be back. Jason says that maybe he will be there for a long time. Dennis sadly tells Jason to be well, and leaves with Tanya. As Dennis walks away, he looks at Jason one last time. Jason feels sad to see Dennis go. He remembers about their love relationship in the past, where he sang a song for Dennis on the beach. A film with a beautiful view with a storyline that can trigger existing emotions. Jason, a marine biologist, is assigned to lead the rehabilitation and preservation of the fish sanctuary in Pola Mindoro. There he meets Dennis, who becomes his diving assistant. As they work together, Jason admires Dennis for putting his family ahead of his dreams. Meanwhile, Dennis is moved by Jason's passion for his job. The two find that they are attracted to each other, but they are also involved in their own problems. Dennis got his girlfriend pregnant, while Jason and Abby had struggled to have a baby for years, but were unsuccessful due to Abby's illness. The scene that moved me was when Abby prioritized Jason's happiness, even though she was dying. There is a lot of drama that occurs in the film, thus eliminating the main focus of the film. I felt that they made the film too dramatic to make the audience feel connected to the main character, but it doesn't seem to work. What I like most about this film is the real and emotional ending of the film. How the story of Jason and Dennis ends painfully, and they have to face the harsh reality that exists in society. Their love story is still the same as other love stories, sometimes beautiful but also painful. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe, and turn on notification.